What's up, party people? It's your boy, Ephemeral Style, captain of the Colorado Dragons Den, here to take you through our Week 1 matchup against Pardus and the Tropicana Tropius. Their team consists of Cinderace, Landorus Therian, Primarina, Alolan Muck, Terra Steel or Water Sinistra, Terra Fairy or Fire lmao, Iron Crown, Raikou, Hitmonlee, Masquerain, and Knacklestack. The team has a lot of scary setup threats that could win the game if I react too slowly to them, so this week we're starting off with Hawlucha. With a fast Encore, I should be able to contain his sweepers, and with an unburdened Sword Stance set, Hawlucha could win the game if I can pop my White Herb at the right time. I opted for Brave Bird over Acrobatics this week so that I can hit an unterracialized Sinistra before I burn my item. Next up is this week's designated lead, Mesprit. Terra Steel to take U-turns from fast leads such as Cinderace and Lando, Mesprit should be able to get a lot of work done this game, setting hazards to enable my late game sweeps, Knock Off to remove items, and Thunder Wave to cripple setup mons trying to take advantage of my low damage. As another measure to set up mons, we're bringing a big Ursaluna. With his incredible natural bulk and guts boosted attacks, we can almost always trade 1-for-1 with anything threatening to sweep me if things go awry. After a Trailblaze, I can threaten a Landorus with an Ice Punch, and the rest of the team outside Cinderace even after Intimidate. Speaking of Cinderace, we need a switch-in for its strong physical moves, so Blastoise is making his debut. With a ton of bulk and Rocky Helmet to catch U-turns, Blastoise should always be able to come in on Cinderace and force a switch by threatening potentially Torrent-boosted Surfs. We have Rapid Spin to clear away hazards, and Ice Beam to catch a Sinistra switch on a Rapid Spin. We also have Flip Turn if he gets greedy and stays in, which gives us slow momentum into the fastest mon on our team, Spectrier. This week, we don't need the speed from a Choice Scarf or want to be locked into Shadow Ball when a normal type is probably coming, so we can afford to run a Colbur Berry to eat a Sucker Punch from Cinderace if it tries to end the sweep early. Dark Pulse hits the aforementioned normal type, and Substitute and Nasty Plot can let us set up when our opponent switches in to avoid giving us a Grimnay boost on a revenge kill. Finally, we have Rillaboom with an Assault Vest to help Mesprit take on the special threats, remove items with knockoff, threaten big damage on certain mons with high horsepower, and clean up weakened opponents with Grassy Glide. That's our team for Week 1 of the Turn 17 Rocks Season 3 Draft League, so let's see how we do. Alright, we are here with the battle. I'm going to lead off with Mesprit, as I indicated. He's going to lead off with Iron Crown, which is immediately going to get a speed booster and Calm Mind. I'm not going to look at the set of hands, so I'm going to Thunder Wave it immediately. It's paired, so I'm not sure what it goes for, but my knockoff is going to do a bit. With knockoff and U-turn, I should be able to put it into range of Rillaboom's high horsepower, who is going to outspeed after this para. And worst case, Ursaluna's high Headlong Rush can also clean it up. So I'm going to Terra Steel because I think he might be going for an attack this turn, and I doubt he's going for a crazy Focus Blast. But he actually Iron Defenses. So I U-turn and I'm no longer in range with Rillaboom, so I have to go to Ursaluna. He's going to get his stored power off and do a ton. I Trailblaze in case he switches, which is going to cost me an extra 6% of burn, and Headlong Rush is going to come out. This means that he's going to have to go Cinderace. He can't go Landorus anymore, and I'm going to pivot to Blastoise, but he U-turns on some psychopath shit because Ursaluna might have actually lived that, and I could have gotten a big move off. He's going to take his helmet chip though, which is good for us, and Raikou's going to come in, so we're going to go straight into Rillaboom as he Volt Switches. And looking at this damage to AV Rilla, Raikou is probably either Max Attack Modest or some sort of Specs variant, because this is a ton of damage to AV Rilla, and he's going to go straight into Indeedee and change the terrain. So I'm just going to go straight for knockoff here, and he's going to Terrafire, Terra Blast to get out of his weakness. Knockoff's going to get rid of his specs, and I'm going to sack the Ursaluna here, which gives me an opportunity to go Rilla and set the terrain back up. But I'm realizing that with some bulk, my Grassy Glide is actually a roll to kill, and one that I'm not really happy to take because I don't want to sack Rilla for free at this point. So I'm going to go Spectrier, who always outspeeds, and just fire off a Shadow Ball to see what his switch-ins are. So Raikou is going to come in. I'm going to assume that I'm going to blow this thing up, and it's going to take nothing. So looking at that, that is Assault Vest Raikou with a solid amount of bulk as well. So I'm not willing to take a Shadow Ball from this and try and trade these down. So I'm just going to go out into my Mesprit, as he's going to Shadow Ball, and of course immediately get the Spadef drop, which really sucks, and he's going to Volt Switch, do a ton of damage with that, as Landorus comes in, and we're just going to knock off trying to remove that Assault Vest for a Spectre endgame. Instead, we're going to catch the helmet and take a little bit more chip, but that's not too bad since Landorus shouldn't be able to touch me. We get our Gentleman's Rocks up. He reveals Psychic, I guess expecting me to go Hawlucha. But I'm Levitate, so I'm not fearing a ground attack that I need to go to Flying type for. So he doesn't do a ton. Right now I'm running the calcs to figure out how much damage this Psychic is doing. And it's like, oh, it's doing too much. It's got to be Spectac Investment. But actually, he's just high rolling every turn, which makes his calc a little harder. So I'm Thunder Waving, expecting a U-turn, trying to catch a Sinistra or a Cinderace switch in. But he's just going to keep Psychicking on my Spadef drop. So I'm just going to U-turn out into Blastoise. And he's going to U-turn, take some helmet damage. He doesn't know I have Ice Beam yet. He's expecting a spin to get rid of these rocks. He doesn't have helmet anymore. And I'm going to Ice Beam into Sinistra and get some big damage. In fact, I'm going to get such big damage that this is not going to be bulk Sinistra. So I'm expecting max speed, max attack. And I'm not willing to let my Blastoise go to a Machagashi just yet. So I'm going to choose to sack Rillaboom. I probably could have gone Mesprit here instead of giving him the Grassy Terrain recovery. Which is going to heal him a ton between leftovers, Grassy Terrain, and his 1% from Machagacha. But Spectre is still definitely going to pick up a KO here. And here he's either going Raikou or Indeedee to sack it to the rocks to avoid giving me a boost. So I should have Nasty Plotted, but instead I decided to go for Substitute. Nasty Plot, it gives me a 2-hit KO on Shadow Ball always. So that's very good, but at the percent I'm at, modest, max Spatak, Shadow Ball has a small percent to pick me up, and I want to conserve HP on this because I think I can win if I come down to last month's Cinderace and it tries to Sucker Punch me. I probably should have just taken my damage, but I'm going to go for Shadow Ball, 31%, no drop, no crit, nothing like that. He's going to Shadow Ball break my sub. The terrain heals him out of range of the Shadow Ball, so that's really unfortunate, and I am going to have to go to Blastoise and sack it here since I don't really need it because of how much chip is taken, and he is going to Thunderbolt. So now I know that he's bulky and he's max attack. So what I should be doing is going into Hawlucha, who always outspeeds, and clicking Close Combat. But instead, what I do is go into Mesprit. I didn't lick this calc. And I'm going to take an Aura Sphere and go down. I wanted to knock off the Assault Vest for my Spectrier, but instead I just sack for nothing. And I still don't go into Hawlucha for some reason because I'm seeing that Thunderbolt kills me, but I should be faster. I should know that I'm faster, but that's the situation. Shadow Ball is going to come out. It's going to crit. Of course, it's going to get the drop now that it doesn't matter, and the crit isn't going to kill, even though it could have. And he's going to Shadow Ball and get a roll and pick me up. So Hawlucha is going to come in finally and Close Combat. I'm going to proc my Wet Herb so I don't have my defenses dropped. And Landorus is going to come in to get Intimidate. I know it has Psychic to hurt me, but I still need to get to +1 to kill it. And here's where having Brave Bird really hurts me because with the amount of damage I've done, he sees that he can just go straight into Sinistra, take this Brave Bird since I can't CC, and he's going to pick up a 1-0 victory. So I'm really not happy with how I played this one. I had pretty good prep. These were the 6 mons I was expecting, so I should have been able to win. But I just played really poorly around that AV Raikou at the end there. He didn't even have Sucker Punch on Cinderace. So Hawlucha with Acro would have won right there, and also Spectrier, I probably could have killed Raikou and won right there as well. So it's just really frustrating to lose week 1 this way, but we've got 7 more weeks and I'm confident that we can bounce back. So Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.